Hello, everybody. This is Cyrus, and obviously, it's very difficult to make this video. John Adam Jackson was, as some of you know, he co ran the Afterlife Topics community on Facebook. In some ways, he was uh, the guy who fully ran the community because even if I wasn't on the Facebook group very much, he was always there taking care of all of it. Sometimes I'd even call the Facebook group his group. And he was also a friend of mine. I met him in London in 2019 before the world went to hell. And now, he has lost his battle with COVID. He was a big member of this community. He knew many people. I'd say hundreds of people, possibly from the Afterlife Topics group, as well as some of his other groups, and so very well loved person. There is a huge outreach of support when he was put into the coma and intubation as the virus progressed in his body, and there's huge outpouring. Lots of people sharing the online vigils put on by Caroline, as well as his sister, Louise, who has posted updates about Adam's condition every day since he was admitted to the hospital. So, really, I really have to make a special shout out to his sister, who has really helped out with all of this and kept everyone up to speed on his health, and now is facing this enormous loss. I hope everyone knows how much we appreciate you, Luis, if you're watching this. And so I want to talk a little bit about Adam, and also I think some important points to make because this is a big morale blow in this community. It's also making people kind of question, and this isn't kind of, this is a normal thing, question ideas of spiritual intervention, because I don't think anyone I've seen has had as much online vigils and positive thoughts and energy going out towards them as much as for Adam. Here's a guy who is like, I think I believe he was about 51 years old, perfectly healthy. I met him. He didn't look much older than me, so he was doing something right. Uh, and the virus just came and took him down. So obviously, this is something that hits home to a lot of people, and you would expect that with enough prayers and support that Adam would make a full recovery, because that's the way it's supposed to be, right? Especially if all of these ideas of spiritual realities are true. Well, I want to say that I knew that Adam was going to pass away before he was put into a coma. And I didn't say this except in my first video announcing that he was put into the coma. I said there was a 20 or 30% chance that he would even make it. And though the odds I think were around 50%, and then it declined, but I knew he wasn't going to get through this. And the reason that I knew that was because of Adam's last words to me when he was, I believe, in hospital but still conscious. And this was online. And pretty much I knew from that point that, okay, well, Adam is taking what they might call an exit point. So his last words to me were, to paraphrase a little bit, he said, "I'm going to cross over soon. I'm going to be on the other side soon." And I said, "The other side of what? The other side of the illness? You mean you're going to be better?" "Yeah, I know you're going to be better." It's like, no, he meant the other side as in the other side. He said he had no more fear of dying, and that was because of the work of Jürgen Ziva, he said, as well as myself. So he wanted to thank me for that because he said now he understood about life after death and that all the work that he was doing was really a part of fulfilling that mission in a sense. And so his personal understanding about what will happen next. He said he intended to be with his parents again, who he's very close to, and that he had no desire to remain in this world with a badly damaged, broken body from COVID. And I understand that because this would mean imagine having lungs, at a fraction of their capacity, kidney damage, liver damage, all the places the virus affects, which I know because I've actually been battling a form of the virus for 11 months now. I don't think there is one organ system in my body that it has not affected. And I wouldn't want someone to be living with that. And he said he didn't want to live with that. So he made it very clear to me in his last messages to me online that not only did he not intend to come out of this, but there was a real implication that this was the path he was on, that he wanted to be on, and that he wanted to leave this life behind. I knew right away that he was going to cross over. And there was a bigger picture in some sense about Adam, someone like Adam even, who gets into this work because they're drawn to it, because they are maybe even preparing themselves because they're going to take an exit point of some kind. Now, the virus it can take anyone. Yeah, a lot of people are asymptomatic until you're not asymptomatic, and then it takes you down. Some people get sick, they're asymptomatic, they think they're fine, and they get sick later and they're not fine. So the virus does not discriminate. But that said, it's also, I think, a factor can be involved on whether you are meant to be in this world or if you're not. If you, on a subconscious, deeper level, are looking for a way out. And if you are looking for a way out, oftentimes you find that way out. It comes to you. And when it was a pandemic, then that's a way for that opportunity, I guess, if you want to call it that, will come knocking on your door much sooner than later. So I think that's an important point to think about in a situation like this because, I've known of several people now who have passed away from this virus, many more who've been badly sick or, had their lives ruined. So it can take anyone, but in this situation, it's just the odds are less likely, for somebody like Adam without pre-existing conditions, perfectly healthy, to get taken down by it. And yes, it can happen to people for sure. It almost happened to me. But it's almost like just given that this, that it's not the most common way that this manifests, it just feels to me like what we would call an exit point. Adam, I think, like many of us, he felt a bit unsatisfied by this world and he greatly missed his deceased loved ones. And this created this motivation where he wanted to understand as much about the other side as possible. And so he immersed himself in huge amounts of literature about the subject. But what was it leading up to? Because he wasn't like the kind of person he wasn't, no offense to Adam, he wasn't like a scholarly type of person. What was it that motivated him? I believed, or wanted to believe, that it was because Adam was destined to be a great teacher, to be able to spread these ideas and knowledge and help people on this world. But he didn't quite fit that archetype of a personality, right? So why else was he so drawn to an afterlife? In some ways, even more so than me. What was it? Well, maybe there was a knowing that there was going to be a way out. And that was the sense that I got with him, the entire time that I've known Adam. I always had that sense. Obviously, I would never tell him or tell anyone else. But I always just had this feeling like Adam wasn't going to stick around. It was a strong enough feeling that even if I was just talking to him, just like on Facebook, or when we met in London at the Afterlife Topics meetup, I got this sense like I want to talk to him because I might not be able to talk to him again. That's always been the feeling, like there was like this borrowed time. And unfortunately, I guess my feeling was correct. So, to wrap these points up, if this is the case, no amount of prayers and positive energy and thoughts and anything is going to stop someone from crossing over. If it's their choice to go, if they are making that decision, then there isn't a way that you're going to strong arm somebody into staying in this world. And I think that's something that people need to understand. I know people's is very low right now because of Adam's passing. But it's just important to remember, just, it doesn't mean that you're a failure or there's no other world or God or whatever it is because you were praying and then someone didn't make it. It's because they also have a say in the matter. And if Adam knew that him staying in this world would have meant being crippled with organ damage and confined to a wheelchair, I have no doubt Adam would say, just forget about it, let me go. So it has nothing to do with people praying and sending positive energy or any of that. Because you were doing that, I'm sure it had a positive effect for Adam to feel loved and appreciated and to be given that support. But that's not, he didn't pass away because your prayers failed, right? These types of situations, I think that there was an element of free will and choice involved, and that's the big point I wanted to stress for this video. So final points, Adam, he was a huge Star Wars guy, so you knew him in the comments of this YouTube channel as Sidious. So he was a big fan of Darth Sidious, as you know, as the Emperor of Star Wars, and the actor who played him in the prequel in Star Wars as well as the prequel trilogy. What's that guy's name? His name is escaping me. He is a good actor, and so that was who Adam was a big fan of, and so he always liked that kind of dark side. He always said he hopes in the afterlife there was some kind of recreation of the the Empire of Star Wars because he wants to go be a stormtrooper. And I say to each their own, and I'm not so sure I want to join like a crazy genocidal space army, but hey, they were cool. He was a big fan of the film Cobra. I haven't seen Cobra. I'm going to watch Cobra to honor John. I should say Adam. He didn't like being called John. I always say, call me Adam. Call his middle name. Why not? And yeah, he was like the personification of the '80s. To me. Adam was like right there. He was the walking, talking '80s, and I think that vitality also in him is why he didn't age. I mean, the dude just like in his 50s, he didn't look in his 50s. So we can all learn from Adam about keeping our vitality, keeping our youth, keeping our youthful enthusiasm about whether it's pop culture, TV shows, films. We can really learn from Adam about those points. Those are big strengths of Adam's. And I don't know. I feel like I want to do something to honor him. Maybe it will involve uh, Darth Sidious. I don't know. maybe I'll change the background for these videos for a while and just make it Darth Sidious. But I think it's going to confuse a lot of people who come to the channel. They'll be like, "What is this? Who's this Cyrus astral projection guy? Is he evil? Why does he have a Darth Sidious in the background?" Adam's posts on the group were just everyone loved him. So many posts on the group that Adam would make all the time, always engaging people and always still having a very critical and intellectual discussion about the subjects on this channel. So I guess that's that. Again, my heart goes out to Adam's sister and his family and all his other friends and workmates uh, everywhere who will miss him. And wherever in the afterlife there was a pub, and just again, just throw out these ideas that you can't do physical, tangible things in the afterlife. Like those, there's such nonsensical ideas, and people like this Mark Anthony guy, for example, who are telling grieving people that your experiences with your loved ones in the afterlife are basically illusions because they can't do anything anymore when you cross over. All that's bullshit, and Adam would agree. There is no, the people who want to dehumanize the afterlife. Really, just forget about them because it's just manipulation. I mean, narcissists manipulate, and that's what that is. And I say this passionately because wherever there's a pub in the afterlife, that's where Adam is. Uh, I've had so many astral projection experiences and locations like that, and I can think of places that Adam would love to go to. So wherever there's a pub, that's where he is. Wherever his parents are, that's where he is. I hope he comes through somehow through a solid medium. If he doesn't, I'll understand that because he tends to stick to what he's comfortable with. He doesn't like going outside his comfort box. So if that means finding a routine, being happy, that's what he'll be happy doing. He might not even want to get involved with mediumship or coming through some methods or whatever it may be, and that's okay. It's no big deal if that's the case. But I hope he does. I hope I see him or have an experience with him. I don't know if it will. And I guess that's all I have to say. That's it for this video. Thank you for watching, and I feel demoralized. I feel like the world is ending. I'm still sick with viral symptoms after 11 months. I don't know what's going to happen next in this world, the people I know, but I'm going to keep on going with this work because it has to be done. The awareness about the afterlife, it has to keep going, and because I don't know who else is doing it. That's why I have to do it.